Welcome back! My name is Ballerscuba. This is Video Games Over Time! We are still in 1986 and we are still in Dragon Quest. We last left off, I said I was going to be doing some level grinding. I have done that. Took about 4 or 5 hours. I am now up to level 20. That is as high as I am willing to go right now. But I do have the stats that go along with that. 84 power, 81 speed. I do have the HP and MP to kind of go along with that, as well as the attack and defense power that is really as high as I'm willing to go in this one. We have enough to make it to the end of the game, so let's go ahead and do that. You can level grind up to level 30 if you so desire. I do not, so I'm just going to move on. I do have 2 more spells to show off for you. The last 2 spells in the game, they are Bahoy, also known as Mid-Heal. My notes say it costs 8 MP. In my experience, it costs me 10 MP. It's supposed to restore 85 to 100 HP of health. So there you go. Big heal spell if we're low on healing. Much more effective, I have found, than the normal heal spell, the Hoimi. So I'll probably be using this more often, but we will see. Then we have Bagheera. This is an upgrade to Gira. This is also known as Sizzle in other versions of the game. Supposed to cost 5 MP and does 50 to 65 of fire damage. I haven't used it. I rarely ever use it, so I don't honestly know what's going on in this game. But that's what it says. 5 MP, 50 to 65 damage. Okay, so we are ready to head to the end of the game. Let's head up and around. It's kind of a long journey still, unfortunately, but it shouldn't be too bad for us to kind of get there. We need to go back to the castle where we got the sword before. We are going to head there and kind of go a different path this time and see if we can't make it to the Dragon Lord. Why he's not on his throne, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I need to go this way, because I do need to go through the cave again, unfortunately. It's a little bit of a long journey, but nothing that we can't handle. I'll just go ahead and kill the ghost. There's really no point in me killing anything at this point, but it's easier than running if I know that I'm going to kill it in one shot. It's more likely that I will be able to kill it than I'll be able to run away sometimes. Alright, let's go ahead and cast Ramira, even though I should be just using the torch, but I'll be fine. I did re-up on herbs and keys. I should have pointed that out earlier, but I don't think it's really going to matter at this point. We're just kind of going to the end of the game, and money means nothing to me at this point. There's really nothing that I'm going to be buying, and outside of an occasional rest at the inn, there's really nothing that I know for certain I'm going to be spending money on. Alright, made it through. Let's head out and over to the castle. Big scorpion, I can take out in one hit, so I'll just go ahead and do that. But we will start running from enemies eventually. If you're up to level 30, you can get away with killing most of the enemies, but I would still recommend running, even at max level, because the enemies will just kind of drain your HP and MP in a way that you really don't want them to, because you kind of need it for the final fight against, spoiler, the Dragon Lord. So we'll run from you because you take 2 hits. Yeah, this is where we start running. He chanted Mahat. I did not hear it. But we will pretty much be running from this point forward. You can use the holy waters and maybe some of these will go away, but ultimately you just don't want to get into fights at this point. Save as much as you can for the final fight. Star Chimera. Alright, I got away. That's one of the harder ones. The Shadow Knight's also kind of like the higher level, but I don't know, it doesn't always feel that way. Alright, back in here we go. So we're going to take the same path that we did before. We're going to go around and we're going to go to the stairs behind the throne. You can go the other ways, but don't. Just don't. All right, back to the stairs here. Let me pull up, make sure I have the right thing. Okay. Behind the stairs, and let's go ahead and cast Ramira. And we will follow the first two kind of linear paths here. Yeah, I guess the way that you're supposed to figure out that it's behind the throne is going through the dungeon, through the other entrances, and seeing, wait, there's a staircase there. What is that? And kind of searching around till you find it. Hey, evil knight. Yeah, there's no point in me trying to take these guys on. I don't really care about the experience. I don't care about the money. Wow, 3 damage, that's it. That was exceedingly low. I've already healed it back. For the record, it takes 4,000 experience per level from this point on. And it has been for a while. I believe somewhere around like 13 or 14, it started being 4,000 each and every time. It does not change. Okay. That was the first path. Let's take this second path. Hey, look! I think the sword's back. And we have the upgraded dragon. There's no reason for me to take it on. It'll probably breathe fire, which usually costs 10 or so HP. And then he strikes first. He goes for Lally Ho. 15 damage. 15 damage. 16 damage. Alright, can we run now? Nope. We went for Lally Ho again? I have never seen Lally Ho miss when it's been used on me. If they use it, it lands every time. Okay, we made it. I'm just going to keep walking. He took over half of my HP, I think, but I'm just kind of hoping that I get it back naturally as I keep walking. Okay. So then here we want to go, let's go ahead and cast the spell again for Ramira. And we want to go left here, and then all the way left, and then down to the stairs here. And we'll take these down. Then we want to go up as far as we can. And we can just run from all of these. Try not to use any more MP than I have to, even though I didn't. Right, and then down and go to the left and down this one here. Stone Man! Do not care. And we'll take the stairs down here. Okay. Let's go just kind of follow this path on the outside, and that will lead us down again. Okay, let's go through here and down, and we've made it to the courtyard. So on the right, that is our ultimate goal. That is the Dragon Lord there. We're going to take the left path, though, at this point, and see if we can't make it around. Just another stone man. I am back up to full HP. That is what I would like to see. And we're going to follow this around, right, all the way? Yeah, we don't need to bother with the treasure chests at this point. There's really nothing that they're going to give me that I care about. I believe it's just, like, small amounts of money. Okay. Yeah, we just want to go all the way around and talk to the Dragon Lord. Archmage is not that bad at this point. Flee. Okay. If I could get all of my HP back, that would be great. I did. Okay, so once again, I'm gonna like break a little bit here and save, and then I will go ahead and talk to the Dragon Lord. Welcome, hero. I am king of all, the Dragon King. I've waited for one like you. Be my ally and half the world is yours. Will you be my ally? Sure, half the world? I'll take it. Truly? Yes. Thus I grant you half the world. I'll tell you the return spell. Write it down. Your quest is over, rest easy, wahaha. And we die. I thought the music was slowing down to something. Apparently not. In other versions of the game, they won't even let you do that, so. There you go. This is a situation where I have a false choice. So this time we're going to say, no. I will not be your ally. That is foolish. And it is final boss time. We're up against the Dragon King in this version. Yeah, let's go ahead and fight him. I believe that what I want to do is just hit him. I don't even think I want to cast a spell. I think I just hit him. 43 damage, he goes for Bagheera, which is 24 damage on me. I can deal with that. 23 damage on you. Mahat, it didn't work. I can still cast spells. And down he goes. But it's super secret boss time. The Dragon King's true form appeared. We will go all out again. 8 damage on him. Blue fire, 46 on me. 10 damage on him. 44 on me. This is where we go for the Bahoy spell. Bahoy me. Alright. 44. Fight. 10 damage. And then we heal again. Bahoy. Alright, he goes for a basic attack, which is better because it does less damage. 6 damage! Alright, 43. Definitely need to use the spell again. How much is it? It is 10 in this version. Alright, 42 damage. I can get probably 1 or 2 hits in here. Just the one. And anything under 50 I don't trust. Okay, 33. And 8 on him. 24, that is not bad at all. Another 8 your way, eat that. Okay, 44 my way. Let's go for another Bahoy. 26 damage, I can deal with that, and I can probably get 2 hits in then. Alright, goes for fire. I should be fine. Let's hit him again. Goes for a regular attack. 46. Your normal attack has never done that much before. Alright, Bahoy on me. 46. And 6 on you. Alright, we're starting to run low, but I can still heal 4 more times. Alright, 31, 11, 34, I'm gonna hit him again. 8, 43, and then we're just going to Bahoy our way out of it. 45, I can hit him again. 10 damage. 30, we're not risking it. 27 damage, I should be able to get at least a couple in here, I think. Maybe not. 48, nope. We're playing it safe, I guess. 44 damage. 10 on you. Yeah, I was about to say it would have to be way too low. All right. Ahoy! That's a full heal. All right, 7 more damage on you, and down goes the Dragon King. It was just a matter of math, as it turns out. Just keep on healing and keep on attacking, and eventually the Dragon King goes down. And so you took the light orb from the Dragon King's hands. Raising it, light pours out, so peace returns. And then we just end up outside. And we get a full heal for that. Let me look up kind of quickly what are the items that you can get. In other versions, I think it is like the belt that's cursed, I think an herb, and then money, maybe a key. A couple of them will have nothing, and maybe a wing. But like, honestly, the items there are not worth your trouble. But we got it. We beat the final boss. So what do we do now? We warp back to the castle. There's really no reason to walk back at this point. I don't believe there's any enemies at this point on the world map either. There might be, though. There shouldn't be, but they might be there. Oh. Go tell the king! Do you have anything different to say? Go tell the king. All right, I'm just going to assume you all say the same thing. Let's go talk to the king. Oh, I didn't even have to talk to him. He started. Oh, brave hero, you fulfilled the legend. That is, you are the scion of Loto. Yes, I knew that when I started. Is it strange I ask you to rule the land with me? But Hero said... We'd have to give him a voice? All that I wish to rule is myself. Please wait. Let me go with you. Can't I come, Hero? I'm gonna drop another save here because in this version I'm not sure they're going to force it. No. How cruel. Can't I come, Hero? No, how cruel. All right, they do force it in this one, too. You have to take the princess with you. You have to. Thou must love her. Oh, joy. Hero's new journey begins. Marriage. Great! You regained peace to the world, but you decided to start on a new journey. May God be always with you. In this version, it doesn't hide religion. We'll talk about that more later. But here is the Dragon Quest staff. Most of these names should be familiar. Scenario written by Yuji Horii. We talked about him and kind of the whole process of that. Character designed by Akira Toriyama. Honestly, one of my favorite parts of this game is his work. Music composed by Koichi Sugiyama. I think he did a good job. Programmed by Koichi Nakamura, Koji Yoshida, Takanori Yamamori. I don't think I talked about all of them. CG designed by Takashi Yasuna. Don't think I mentioned him. Scenario assisted by Hiroshi Miyaoka. I've gotten better with my Japanese pronunciations. Assisted by Rika Suzuki, Tadashi Fukuzawa. Yeah, we'll talk about kind of all my thoughts later. Title designed by Kazuo Inamoto. Manual illustrated by Takayuki Doi. Special thanks to Kazuhiko Torishima. And of course directed by Koichi Nakamura as well. And produced by Yukinobu Chida. We definitely talked about him. Hooray, we did it! Copyright, all of that, 1986. That's what Chunsoft looks like? And edicts. The end. We did it! We beat the game. Like I said before, in a previous playthrough, that I did put on the channel. I did it at kind of a lower level like this, level 20, and then I also did it at level 30. it really doesn't change much other than there's less rounds in the last fight because there's not really a lot of tactics going on. So I will not be doing that this time. Instead, we are going to call it here. That is going to be the final part of Dragon Quest. With the game played, though, it's time to talk about how it holds up today. Playing the game today, I definitely had fun playing Dragon Quest. This is a version of the game that I had not played before. I had always played kind of later versions, so there were a few things that I had to kind of deal with this time that I didn't before. So my enthusiasm for the game is a little bit less than it was on previous playthroughs, but I still definitely had fun. The game still feels a little rough around the edges for a certain number of things, and that is only really because I have so much experience in this genre. This is my genre. This is it. That I want a lot of the improvements that I know come later to be in this game. So it's not necessarily fair for me to hold a 1986 game accountable for changes that were made in like 1998 or whatever. But there's still a lot to talk about with this game, and a lot that I did enjoy. I love, for instance, the graphics. Akira Toriyama is a highlight of this game. The animation, the sprites, all of that kind of stuff. They look great, and they are memorable, which is not always something that you can say in 1986. I think that especially the slimes and a lot of the monsters that we kind of came across, they're kind of cute but also menacing, and I like that. I do like the style that Toriyama brings to it. Of course, I'm a fan of Toriyama outside. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball, but that's neither here nor there. The art, I think, is good. The gameplay, I think the streamlined nature of the game, at least compared to other RPGs that we have played, I would see that as an improvement. I think that a lot of the game is simpler for the player to go through, especially when it comes to like level grinding and how to cast spells and things like that. The kind of menu-based options, I think, are a definite improvement. I think that there's still more streamlining that can be done. I would like for the game not to be set up as do one thing, level grind, do one thing, level grind, do one thing, level grind, just kind of ad nauseum. But I think that the level grinding that was done in this game, or I should say is needed in this game, isn't too bad. I would like it to be a lot less, but for the time being, this is almost nothing compared to what we were doing in Might and Magic or The Bard's Tale or anything like that, where sometimes it took me like 20 hours just to get started in a game. This game probably has about 20 hours of level grinding total, give or take, right? We got up to level 20. It was taking me about an hour each time, so maybe a little bit less, but overall, that amount of level grinding from a modern point of view is too much. For 1986 standards, is not considered enough sometimes. It feels like it's not enough content. I would also like the menus to be, once again, kind of more streamlined. I don't need a menu option for doors or treasure chests or something. Just let me hit the button and you know what I'm trying to do. And that happens a lot in this game where, you walk on the stairs and you have to hit the button and hit stairs. And they kind of designed the dungeons around this, so that's going to be difficult to avoid. But I would like more streamlined ways for me to interact with the world, other than always opening up the menu and talk a certain direction and stuff like that. But for the Famicom, this is definitely a big improvement in the RPG genre. For a Japanese RPG, this is also, I would say, a big improvement over what we have been doing before. It's hard not to see the influence of other games here. It's hard not to look at games like Hydlide and Xanadu and Ultima and Wizardry and not see the influences that all of those games kind of had on this game. Tower of Jiraga as well, even though that's not really a full RPG, it has RPG elements in it that a lot of other JRPGs take, but we've talked about that before. This game does take a lot of influence from other games and kind of streamlines it, puts it into a pretty package, and those are often the games that we talk about the most. And so as a result, this game, I think, is one of my favorites of kind of the mid-80s. I think we can still say mid-80s in 1986. I really do love this game. And I think that there's more improvements that can be made based on what I know in the future, but I think we're starting to move in the right direction, and I really do like this game. I think that the plot is okay. I have heard before that you don't even need to rescue the princess in order to beat the game. I've never not done it, so I've never checked, but I think the impetus at the beginning of the game is to rescue the princess, and then after you rescue the princess, you kind of need to remember what's in the manual and kind of how the game started and go, oh, that's right, I'm supposed to defeat the Dragon Lord or Dragon King or whatever he's called in your version. But I don't think there's really that much of a push for your character to do too much other than kind of exploration. And I would love for there to be more plot in this game, but we kind of just have to start where we are. I would love for, you to be able to go to a town and they say, hey, you should go over to this dungeon over here. There's some stuff that you'll want to grab. And then an enemy that will, if you defeat it, help us in the town, something like that. But I'm asking too much of the game. It's just, I get excited because this is, or at least has been, my favorite genre for a long, long time. So we're getting close to what I really enjoy. So I would like to see some of the later additions to this genre in this game. But of course, we just kind of have to start somewhere. So the game is a great start to what I want. But of course, there's still a lot that I would add to it if I had, a crystal ball in 1986 that I could give them. Like, this is what you're going to want to do. But overall, playing the game today, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the level grinding as much, but I never enjoy level grinding all that much, so that's why I always want less. If I were to talk about this game for a modern audience, this is a game I would recommend. There are versions of the game that you can play that make it easier. There are also fan-made versions of the game. The fan-made translation that I played, it came with a secondary version, so to speak, that would give you 255 experience each fight. That is honestly what I would recommend. Turn that on. Save yourself the level grinding. I didn't want to do it for you guys because I do want to show what it would be like to play the game in its original context. But if you're not necessarily interested in level grinding, you can turn that on and just blast through the game, and it will be a lot more fun for you, more than likely. I think the graphics hold up fairly well. I would say the sprites don't hold up as well as kind of the animated figures, especially when we were in fights. Those enemies, they look great, and I think those hold up very well, but the sprites themselves of, what we are on the world map and what we are in town as we're walking around, those probably didn't hold up very well, but they're definitely acceptable for the time. I think the gameplay holds up well. Like I said, I just kind of want it more streamlined, less in the menu, less level grinding. Otherwise, I think it holds up well. The sound, which we haven't talked about to this point, I think is very good, and I think that it's often overlooked. The sound of this game is good. There are definitely some things that were reminiscent of other games. When we were in the dungeon, I'm like, that sounds like Legend of Zelda. But otherwise, I think the sound is good. I think that it is not necessarily as memorable as other people think, but I think that there's a lot of good music in this game. So would I recommend it to a modern player? The answer is yes, I would. I would try to find the way to cheat in it to make it a lot easier. Just give yourself like infinite experience or, easier experience and easier gold and make it through the game. And you'll have fun if you are a fan of RPGs, especially as we will come to know it, Japanese RPGs, of which this is often cited as the first. We have kind of talked about the evolution to this point, so I think it's kind of a dubious title, but I understand where a lot of people will just want to put an easy, this is the first one. But if you are a fan of RPGs, definitely worth checking out. If you're not a fan of RPGs, hate level grinding, obviously not for you, but there's definitely a lot to like in this game. And that's my modern take on the game. When the game was initially released, Dragon Quest was not popular. Sales of the game were so low that Enix was losing money on the game. Yuji Horii would then write several articles for Shonen Jump magazines. This would turn sales around very quickly and save the game. 1 million copies of the game were sold within the first 6 months, and 1.5 million copies would be sold in Japan overall. The soundtrack for the game would be popular enough to be released as an album in 1986. Critics at the time were also positive about the game. The story, the art, and the sound were all praised by the critics. As time has gone on, Dragon Quest's reputation has increased. Dragon Quest is often seen as one of the most important, most influential, and often best RPGs of all time. The game will often find itself on lists of best video games of all time. Dragon Quest would receive ports, sequels, remakes, and re-releases. This includes ports to Japanese computers in 1986, although these were not nearly as successful as the Famicom version of the game. We will keep an eye on the other versions of the game as we continue. Chunsoft and Enix would use the success of Dragon Quest to establish themselves in the video game industry. We will hear from both Chunsoft and Enix again as we continue. Koichi Nakamura and Yuji Horii would establish themselves as major names in Japanese RPGs. We will hear from Koichi Nakamura and Yuji Horii again. Akira Toriyama would also continue to create art for video games, so we will hear from Akira Toriyama again as well. Koichi Sugiyama would continue to create scores for video games. We will hear from Koichi Sugiyama in the future as well. That will do it for the story of Dragon Quest for now. My name is Ballerscuba. This has been Video Games Over Time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video when we recover what's lost.